Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to Phoenix Blue's all-new daily update. Our daily update has been revamped, which I'm sure that will benefit all of you traders. Hit that subscribe button and stay in the loop. There are going to be a number of videos coming out throughout, not only every day, but gradually through the week. So hit that subscribe button, stay in the loop. Today is Wednesday, the 6th of September 2017. My name is Nishal Patel, and we're going to start first and foremost looking at the economic data being released today. So it's just gone past midday here in London. Please remember all times quoted are in BST right now. We've had some data out in the early hours of this morning on the Australian dollar. GDP figures were released and they weren't too favorable on the side of the Australian dollar. Slight dip there in growth with the quarterly figures coming out on the Australian dollar. Have had a host of announcements already on the Australian dollar, and we do have a few more out coming over the course of this week. We've also had some data coming out on the euro in the early hours of European session. Again, not too favourable on the side of the euro and has stunted, I would say, the bullish momentum somewhat. More so, I think most people are going to be looking towards the rate statement being released tomorrow from the ECB. Later on this afternoon, just after 1:30, we've got the trade balance figures coming out on the Canadian dollar, followed by some employment data, and then the key Bank of Canada rate statement and the overnight lending rate being released at 3 o'clock. And that will be followed by the services PMI figures on the USD, which should give a little reprieve on the greenback if the figures look to be favourable in this case. Obviously, we've seen the greenback take a huge knock over the course of yesterday, and we did have Labour Day, so slightly muted liquidity over the course of the start of the week. Moving on forward, what we're going to do is just have a look at what key global news events are having an impact onto the financial markets. The first one, no doubt, everyone knows about is the problems arising from North Korea, and obviously that has had a huge impact onto not only liquidity on the markets and the uncertainty, but we've seen a direct push towards many of the safe havens, and again we'll be visiting that on our charts. The second bit of news that really should be highlighted is the second hurricane in a very short amount of time, which is heading towards the US as we speak, and obviously that's going to have an impact on not only the USD but also various commodities such as the price of oil, and that's again something we're going to visit right now on our charts. So let's turn to our charts and let's have a look at how the markets are. First and foremost, starting off on the dollar index, right now we can see the dollar index floating at 92.24. Fairly indecisive bar on this daily time frame being shown. Obviously, we saw a strong bearish momentum over the course of just after this weekend, primarily down to the push towards the safe haven. Remember, the euro and then the Japanese yen being the strongest components of this dollar index, and the Japanese yen gaining an incredible amount over the course of most certainly since the weekend and definitely yesterday, with those troubles from North Korea persisting. It seems every single time there is any kind of headline with North Korea at the forefront of that headline, there is a strong push towards the safe havens, and we're seeing the Japanese yen appreciate in value against the greenback. We're just going to push on to the Japanese yen right now. We can see that from that huge bearish bar from yesterday. Right now, the Japanese yen floating at just below 10900. Right now 10888. Having come down and tested a low of 108, just above 10850, as you can see on our chart right now. I'm just going to highlight that on this particular account, and we can see on this chart here, we've got a low of 108.44. Depending on your broker, you would have seen that 108.50 mark being hit, but haven't still seen a break of that 108.50 mark, which that most traders are looking for. Most certainly us at Phoenix Blue are looking to see how that 108.50 area holds, and again today we haven't seen it broken, so that could be quite interesting. Moving on to the euro right now. Euro again pushing up in the early hours of this morning, despite the data out very early from the services on the euro, but not huge impacts there. Still pushing on. Right now sitting at just above 1.1900, which is intersecting on this fib level that I've highlighted on my chart, which is from its swing low, swing high. Literally very key level, and no doubt most traders are sidelining themselves and waiting for tomorrow's ECB statement, and that's really at the forefront of most traders and most people that are looking towards trading this particular currency pair. Moving on forward to the Australian dollar, we did have GDP data out early hours of this morning. Haven't seen a break past that zero, or I should say a close or above, and maintain above that 0.800 area. I should say 1,000. Right now floating at 0.7974, so still quite fairly bearish after that news. We do have data out on the Australian dollar throughout the course of this week, so please pay attention to this chart as well. Looks more bearish than bullish, most certainly, and we have a prognosis on what we're looking to do with this. As always, if you want to stay in the loop with us, feel free to not only follow this YouTube channel, but also follow our Telegram channel, where we will be posting analysis. Moving on forward and onto the GBP. I'm looking at the sterling right now on this daily time frame. We saw a very strong push, regardless of the very poor figures we saw on PMI yesterday. It didn't stop the relentless move of the sterling versus the USD, pushing above that 1.3000 level. Right now floating at 1.3043. So 43 pips above that key level, and maintaining its stance of staying above it. And we should be looking closely at ensuring that it closes above this area here right now. Now moving on to the Canadian dollar. Obviously we do have data coming out in terms of trade balance and a rate statement from the Bank of Canada later on this afternoon. No doubt the governor is going to be looking at the strong economic data coming out from Canada, but more so I think they're going to be slightly concerned with the strength of the Canadian dollar and how it's materialized over the course of the last five odd months. From its high that we've seen here, just above 1.36 to its low right now, currently floating just above that key level, as we've got highlighted by this level of support and resistance, just above 23.50. Most certainly, again, most people are going to be waiting to see how that rate statement pans out. No doubt most people are looking for a 25 basis point hike from the 1% mark that the Bank of Canada currently holds. We could potentially see it today, but there are some opinions that we may potentially see it in October. So again, all eyes glued onto that. Moving on forward to our final major, I'm just looking at the level of where the Australian, the New Zealand dollar is at versus the US dollar. Right now floating at 0.7213. slightly bearish on this chart, as we can see on this daily time frame. We did have GDP data out yesterday. Didn't really help the New Zealand dollar in any great respect, and again we do have some more data out on the New Zealand dollar. Again, looks very much bearish than bullish, and most certainly our bias on the New Zealand dollar right now is in a bearish stance. Looking finally at one of the commodities that we will always look at on our daily updates, and having a look at the price of WTI right now, just floating just above $49 per barrel right now. Obviously, with the second hurricane coming into the Caribbean as we speak, Hurricane Irma, and most investors in the market are looking to see the trajectory of this hurricane. No doubt, the last hurricane, Harvey, had caused big problems across the southeast coast of America, hitting key refineries, and many of the refineries still way below their production quotas right now, and operating nowhere near where what they would be considered as Pareto efficient. Far from it. So with this hurricane coming in, I think it's most certainly going to cause an upward pressure on the price of WTI as well as Brent. And again, our bias is short-term buying, short-term rallies along on this particular commodity. And again, as always, if you'd like to know more about our analysis and where we're looking to get in onto the market and looking to capitalize, feel free to tune in to our Telegram channel. Alternatively, pop us an email and we can give you a more in-depth analysis of what we're looking at. Finally, wrapping up, what we're going to do is we're just going to have a quick look at a couple of options that you guys have in terms of trading. I put on two cross currencies here, looking at a Euro GBP short and sterling Kiwi long. Obviously, taking into account what we've seen on the majors so far, looking at the crosses would give a little bit more stability and potentially a little more profit margin if you are looking to capitalize off the FX instruments. As always, we do have many resources at Phoenix Blue that you can utilize as a trader to improve your trading and stay in the loop with how you can potentially progress and take advantage of the markets. Feel free to follow our free Telegram channel, which is PB Trading. Alternatively, visit our website or send us an email to info@phoenixblue.co.uk. Until next time, traders, happy trading. Goodbye.